Lately I've been reaching so much for my Chanel fragrances that I thought it would be a great idea to share with you guys my top 4 for life. These are the 4 that I absolutely always need in my life. These are my die-hard Chanels that I absolutely can't live without, and these are the 4 that I will always recommend to people if they don't know where to start. When you are just getting into the fragrance world and you want to know which Chanel you should add to your collection, but you're lost because there's so many, right? So these are the 4 that I will always recommend the ladies to get. These are all ladies fragrances. If you guys are just getting to know me, by the way, my name is Yana. If you're new to my channel, we talk about fragrances, mostly fragrances. Sometimes we do a little bit of things here and there, but fragrances for the most part. So if that is a passion of yours, then make sure that you head on down and hit that big red button. Make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, all the things. That way you guys will never miss a video, and make sure that you guys stay tuned until the very end because I will put them in order of recommendation. So here we go. The very first one, of course, is Coco Mademoiselle. This is the one that I've had in my collection the longest. This was my personal first Chanel fragrance. And oh my god, I can never get enough of this fragrance. I have the Intense and I have the L'Eau Privée night fragrance. And the original is the one. This is the one that I will always recommend people get. Not the night fragrance, and unfortunately not the Intense, just my taste. I did a comparison video of the two. So if you guys want to check that out next, it's linked up at the top for you. And the reason why is because I like the brightness and the freshness of the original. The Intense is beautiful too, but it comes out a little bit more earthy, and something about the original just makes me gravitate towards it more. I wear it more often and I absolutely love it, and I find that it is longer lasting, and I always get compliments when I wear this fragrance. This is the fragrance that I describe as a citrus rose patchouli for people who hate citrus rose and patchouli. The way that this is combined is absolutely flawless, and you are most likely going to enjoy this. If you are new to the Chanel world, this is the one that I think appeals to most people. It is one of the best-selling fragrances, and even my 16-year-old sister actually really enjoys Coco Mademoiselle. It's very bright. It's a very fresh, crisp scent. It's sure to get you noticed. It's sure to turn heads. Even though it's such a popular scent, there's something about it that really just captivates everyone around you. So that is one of my recommendations. The next one will come as no surprise to those of you who've been watching me for a while, because you guys know that this is one of my favorites as well, and it's Chanel No. 5 Lo. But that being said, I think that every lady needs a Chanel No. 5. I know that Chanel No. 5 gets a little bit of a bad rap these days because it is an older fragrance, and in fact it's turning 100 years old in 2021. But I think you need to find the No. 5 that speaks to you. To me, it's the No. 5 Lo. I know a lot of people love the Eau Première. I also have the Eau de Parfum. I really like this one too, but I like it more in the evenings, a little bit more soapy, classic, elegant. This one does also get me a lot of compliments, and my partner loves when I wear this one. This one is like bright, fresh, citrusy, a little bit soapy, clean smelling. I love to wear this one to work. This one, I feel like a boss lady when I wear this one, and not in like a obnoxious way, just in a very elegant, crisp way. So yes, my favorite is the No. 5 Lo, but I will say any No. 5 is a must-have and a Chanel for life. Next is Coco Noir, and this one's a newer one to my collection, but it's quickly become one of my favorites as well. And this is a little bit spicier. It still has that classic Chanel vibe. All Chanel fragrances have this similarity between them that you can recognize that it's the work of Chanel. Much like sometimes you see an artist's artworks and you can recognize that specific artist. Like you can recognize a Salvador Dali because of the way that the artwork is. The same way Chanel has a common use of some magical ingredients in there that kind of smell similar, and you can recognize the work of Chanel. So yes, this one, even though technically doesn't have aldehydes, which everybody always says, oh, the Chanel aldehydes. Well, I'm not sure that it is specifically the aldehydes, but there's a common denominator amongst all of them. So it does have this Chanel signature and clove and rose. And this is like a grown-up version of if you were to enjoy Coco Mademoiselle and then you wanted to have like an evening fragrance, or you wanted to have a more subdued, low-key, womanly fragrance, it would be Coco Noir. So they are a little bit related in a way. They do have like somewhat of a similar scent profile, but Coco Mademoiselle citrusy, bright, and fresh. And this is if you put a little bit of a spicy twist on Coco Mademoiselle. I will say this one doesn't project as much, so you do have to spray more of this one than the Coco Mademoiselle, I find. On my skin, it doesn't last or project as long, but it's such a beautiful scent, and I wore this one a lot in the fall, winter. I would probably still wear it in the spring, but maybe not in the summer. But the Coco Mademoiselle I can wear all season round. And the final one in my list of 4 Chanels for life is Chanel Chance. This is the Eau de Toilette. I personally prefer the Eau de Toilette, and I'm gonna just spray it on paper. This cap is very stiff. I love this. It's very, very fresh. It's a fresh woody patchouli with fruits and florals. There's hyacinth. It's a little bit green. It's classic smelling, but light. Like, if you guys know the note of hyacinth, it's in fragrances like Dior, Poison, Tendre, the discontinued one, fragrances like Gucci Envy, the discontinued one, and oh, it's also in Hermès 24 Fabour, not discontinued. It has a very interesting, almost watery green scent. It's hard to describe, but when you smell it, you will recognize it in fragrances. And I've smelled real hyacinth as well, so you'll recognize it. And it's very subtle in here. It's not green, it's not bitter, it's very fresh. And it almost adds like a light aquatic-esque touch, but predominantly it's a fresh woody patchouli fragrance, a little bit of fruitiness in there, and that same classic Chanel touch. All of these fragrances have that classic Chanel. This one, as you guys can see by the low usage of the bottle, is my newest one, and I added this in recent months. And the reason why I was hesitant is because I actually had gifted the Eau de Toilette to my grandmother, who is, by the way, fabulous and modern, and I am not using the grandma term here at all, but I was hesitant because it's her scent, and so I was like, oh, I don't know if I can pull it off, if it's mine, like, I don't know if I could wear it. And I can. It's totally fresh. It kind of morphs to the person wearing it. So I find that on her skin, it's a little bit more musky and powdery. And on me, it's brighter and fresher, which I really enjoy. And so I think that this is one that you absolutely have to test on skin. I think this is just one of those simple, fresh, clean fragrances that is kind of minimalistic in a way. And I do prefer the Eau de Toilette over the Eau de Parfum. The Eau de Parfum is more peppery and not as fruity and floral and fresh. It's a little bit just woodier and more peppery and a lot more of the patchouli in there. This one, the Eau de Toilette, is a lot lighter on the patchouli. So choose which one suits you best, but the Chance Eau de Parfum or Eau de Toilette, either one you need to have in your collection if you're just starting to dip a toe into Chanel fragrances. So those are the 4, and now I'll put them in order of recommendation. I can't really tell you which ones my favorite ones are because they're all my favorites. They're all of them, all 4 of these. These are my 4 Chanels for life, that if I had to say goodbye to all my other Chanels, these are the 4 that I would keep. So in order of recommendation for somebody that's just starting off in Chanel fragrances, this is what I would suggest. Coco Mademoiselle. Check this one. This one is a crowd pleaser. This one everybody loves. And I would say that this is probably one of the safer ones. So I would recommend Coco Mademoiselle first, just based on how popular it is. Everybody likes a bright, citrusy fragrance. Well, I shouldn't say that. Not everybody. But this one is a very likable one. So this would be my number 1 recommendation. As banal and boring as it may be, I do think that there is a reason why this one is so popular. But if you don't want to follow the herd and you want to be a little bit different, then my second recommendation would be the Chanel Chance, because it's very safe to lift by the cap and it will never fall and break. You can lift it by the cap as much as you want. But not only that, it's a little bit of a different vibe. It's not like super duper classic Chanel vibes. It's a little bit fresher, a little bit more of a modern twist. I believe that the ones that in the cube bottles, those ones are more of the elegant classic, more challenging, if I may, type of Chanels. In the round bottles, these ones are like a lot more safer, a lot more intro. I do prefer the Chanel Chance over any of the other ones in the round bottles because I do not find them as interesting. And on number 3 of recommendations is the Coco Noir, because I think that it's just a very subtle spiciness. It's very likable, and I think that a lot of women would really enjoy this one, so that is my 3rd recommendation. On the 4th spot of recommendation, it would be number 5, only because this is more of a mature one. It's not everybody feels comfortable with the number 5. I know I took a really long time coming around to number 5, so if you don't want to be all that risky and go straight for a strong Chanel, then go for all the other ones. But if you feel pretty comfortable and you like that classic Chanel vibe, then you should go and find the number 5 that works best for you. Mine's the number 5 Lo, as I've mentioned many times. So those are my 4 for life. And I know a lot of you guys might say,
oh, but what about Chanel Chance Eau de Toilette? But what about Chanel Chance Eau Vive? What about Chanel Allure? Oh, you forgot Chanel Gabrielle.
No. These are the 4 that I would recommend. And these are the 4 that are my absolute favorite.